Hello and welcome back to you. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Ludwig Smash Invitational. This was one of the most stacked tournaments, if not the most stacked tournament we've ever had in Smash Ultimate. Definitely the most stacked post-quarantine. It was insanely massive, and huge shoutouts to Ludwig and his crew. They put on an amazing show. There was 5 Smash events, or 5 games happening at all times, and Melee was also incredible. Huge shoutouts to Zane for winning that. Looking at the LCQ right away, we're not going to be covering as much on LCQ and the Swiss pools just because main stuff's going to be the main bracket, but Quandale, Big D, Lima, Send, Jackal, Karama, Goblin, and MFA all qualified through LCQ. They all did amazing. Audric also had a really good run. We knew if we saw him travel more, he'd do really well, and I was very impressed by him here. If you want to take a look at the LCQ pools, I'll leave them, or I guess LCQ bracket, I'll leave them all in the description down below. I would highly recommend it because I'm not going to be covering as much here because I don't want this video to be like an hour long because that's how much content there is to cover because this tournament was stacked. The standings from Group 1 was Shootone, Cola, Big D, Spargo, Onin, Light, Riddles, and Tweak all qualifying, and then Shootone and Cola qualifying for first seeds. Zomba, Leo, Aquila, Sonics, Karama, Debuzz, Gluto, Ashimo all qualifying through Group 2, and Zomba and Leo first seeds. Main things from the Swiss pool number 1 is Big D's run was incredible. He beat Light, Jackal, and Riddles. He 3-0'd Light and Riddles, by the way, which is actually insane. And then lost to Shootone, because Shootone is crazy good at that matchup. Onin dropped a set to, I think it was Cola? Hold on, let me check instead of speculating. Let's see. No, he lost to Spargo. Spargo actually, I think Spargo kind of boffed him too. Spargo's very good at the C matchup, even though he lost to Aquila later. Spargo is like, he's amazing, obviously. And then the biggest upsets of people that didn't qualify is probably Meister, honestly. I thought Meister for sure had it. He was pretty close, but just didn't clutch it out. Tweak got it over him in the like the 2-2 Tweak match to get it, and Meister was usually favored that matchup. He's beat him the last couple times, but Tweak played really well this tournament. Even though he didn't get an amazing placement, like making it through Swiss pools is like already an amazing placement enough. And then Ken also getting upset fairly early on, like maybe, I think, yeah, Ken Meister and Siski are probably the biggest upsets, and then I think most people didn't expect any of the other players to make it, but Big D is definitely the biggest surprise. Again, no shade to any of the other players. Like, Mutace definitely could have made it. Honestly, Limo was pretty close. Even though, did he take a set? No, I don't think he did, but he had good games. On every single player here. MFA, who did MFA take a set on? Good, I think it was maybe Mutace? Let's see. He took a set over Lima, so huge shout out to MFA. MFA did like, he was definitely like one of the underground. I don't know what the right word would be. Underdogs, God, of this tournament. He did pretty well. Taking a set in the Swiss pools is very impressive. And then for this one, this pool is crazy because Cosmos didn't make it, Zachary didn't make it, T didn't make it. That's nuts. That is so crazy. Like, Zachary didn't even go 2-2. He went 1-3. Like, that's insane. And then Zomba 3-0ing. Zomba getting a win over Aquila is crazy. Leo 3-0ing makes sense. Leo played incredible this tournament. This was, like, the best tournament we've seen from him maybe ever, honestly. And then Aquila, again, losing to Zomba, beating everyone else. Sonics also played really well, getting wins on Gluttony. And who else did he beat? I know he beat Gluto. Round 1, he beat Chag. And then round 4, he beat T. So those are all incredible wins as well. And then the main person here is probably Ashimo and Karama. Definitely Karama, actually. Karama beat T. Insane. That was incredible. Lost to Debuzz, unfortunately. But then beat, who else was next? I know it wasn't, yeah, Zachary. Oh my god, he beat T, lost to Debuzz, then beat Zachary. That's unreal. And then he beat someone else that was crazy. He beat Gluttony. Like, Karama played so well this tournament. It was insane. And then Ashimo got wins over, who did he beat? He beat Send. He beat T, which is, I feel like T usually takes that, but shouts to Ashimo for getting that one. And then he also beat, I think, actually, I don't even know who I think. Oh, he beat Quandale. Quandale also did really well this tournament. I think he got a win on, someone in the 4th round, I think it was really good. Yeah, he got a win on Zach Ray as well. So huge shouts to everyone that, like, it sounds weird to say, but upset Zach Ray. Like, Zach Ray, again, 2 bad tournaments in a row sucks, but hey, a slump can happen, or maybe just unlucky twice. Like, what can you do? And then also, prayers to Mars, just really unlucky players. He had to play Send, Debuzz, and T was probably his best matchup, and that just sucks because T's insane, and then Send and Debuzz, super matchup check him. But hey, can't win always. Still, incredible Swiss pools, and then moving on to the main bracket. This is where it gets arguably more crazy because Shootone over Gluto makes sense because if you don't know, the person that got out in their first seed gets to pick their opponent for like a last seed. So Shootone, Cola, Zomba, and Leo all get to pick their seed, and then it went well for all of them except Zomba. But I think Zamba chose last because I don't know if he chose last or whatever, but the only people no Shutone chose last, but he had to pick between Gluttony, Light, and Tweak. So it wasn't like he had amazing options, but just like damn, unfortunate that he didn't get the pick win. But still like insane play from both of them. Zamba did really well this tournament, beating Light as well, but we'll get to that in a second. And then Big D over Tweak is again another huge win for Big D. That's like what three, like two definitely top 10 players, one in potential top 10 player. All of it with Ices. Just the man is a legend. Cole over to Buzz makes sense. He did pick it. Spargo over Kurama again. Kurama winning these impossible Mario matchups against the best swordsman in the world is ridiculous. He's doing it time and time again. Kurama, oh my god, Kurama's run is insane. So we're really talking about that again. Light losing to Aquila. Light beating both the Steves last time you played them, but losing to both of them this tournament. Maybe the Steves must have adapted or something, or maybe something in the water in Vegas. But still, not terrible. Well, it wasn't. It's not a great performance from Light. This is the worst we've seen him since I think Glitch Infinite was the last time he did this bad, or at least like a 13th place. And then besides that, he hasn't missed a top 4 since I think he missed. I think he got 5th at Collision, but since then he hasn't missed a top 4, which is like kind of unreal to say. So Light's been doing very well recently. Had a bad tournament this time. Sucks that it's this bad tournament, but again, not everyone could get top 8 at the Super Mega Major, so it makes sense, I guess. Leo over Ashimo. Yeah, Leo was playing insane this tournament. Sonic's over Onan. I would have thought Onan had it, but Sonic's also impressed me a lot this tournament. Like, he was someone I had making it through pools, but not someone I had making top 8, admittedly. So, huge shout out to Sonics. He played really well. Gluto over Tweak. Gluto has been beating Tweak the last couple times, so it does make sense. Spargo over Buzz. I feel like Spargo does pretty well against Buzz traditionally. We will pull up. Actually, I'm just going to leave Karamas later because we're going to be looking at that inevitably. Buzz. Let us see. I don't think they have played in a little bit, though, because they didn't play at Summit, and that's like the only time they would have been able to play. Let's see here. Spargoat. Oh, there's 2. Oh, God. But he is 0-4 against him. They've only played... Is that only once offline, though? Okay, they've only actually played once offline, but Spargo did get the dub there. Wait. Low Tide? That... Oh, 2022. Never mind. I thought that was... Wait, what? Hold on. I'm getting Stunlock for no reason. That's 2021. Oh, I'm stupid is what it is. Okay, thank God. I was like, what is going on? My world is crumbling. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Never mind. Moving on. But Spargo did have the win there, and then he got it again. DeBuzz still looked pretty good this tournament, though. Just had some really unfortunate people that he had to play against, like Cola, who's amazing against him, very rarely loses, if ever, honestly. And then Spargo was also pretty good. Zamba beating Light. They're going back and forth, trading sets now. Just Light, again, had a shaky tournament. Zamba had an amazing tournament. Bad turnout, but like Zamba played incredibly well this tournament. He definitely could have beat Cola as well. Like Cola and Zamba was like one of the closest sets of the tournament. That thing was unreal. Ashimo Onan, again, makes sense. I feel like I'm saying it again a lot in this video, sorry. Onan played pretty well this tournament, getting a 5th place here. Honestly, I think that's like perfectly seated for him. That's probably where he was seated around there. He played really, really well. Beat Ashimo 3-0. Steve Ryu seems very, very tough. But Steve anything seems pretty tough, except Steve Leo, because my god. And then Shutone losing to Big D, or Big D losing to Shutone. Shutone is like the best player in the venue at that matchup. Just really unfortunate roll from Big D, but he did a pretty decent job. Also to note, if you're a Pyramithra player, Shutone basically only used Pyra. It was like the opposite of like normal Pyramithra gameplay. He like only used Pyra, which is like super weird, but I guess like you have that huge sword, you're using it for zoning anyway. Cola over, or Karama over Cola. Mario beats the big sword again. I don't know how he does it, but he did it consistently. Riddles over, or Aquila over Riddles, god. Aquila, Riddles they've played a couple times. That's like Aquila's probably most played American player. And it's every single time. It's like super, super close, or I guess actually, it was kind of dominant the first couple times, but it's getting closer every single time. Every single time, and Riddles one game away. Pretty close games as well for the most part. And I feel like next time they play, Riddles definitely could take it. Leo busting out the Aegis against Sonics. Also, I didn't mention this, but Leo used Joker against Buzz, specifically, just because he hates him, or because it's very funny. And then everyone else used Byleth, but then against Sonics he used Aegis. I imagine what he's going to do, or at least it sounds like what he's going to do, is every single player he's going to pick which of those 3 characters he's using, which I love. That is like how you should be playing Smash, really, and I think it's like super, super smart. Like I'm imagining it's Proto, he probably uses Joker, and then Light, Gluto, Esam are probably the only 3 other people that are like you need to super think about, and I don't really know what he would play against them. I feel like against Esam he definitely plays Joker. Against Light, I have no idea against Gluto. Maybe Joker, honestly, because Gluto like very rarely took sets off the Joker, and then he's taken a couple off the Byleth. So we're gonna have to see in the future though. So no real point speculating because he's unpredictable, and we won't see it until like December anyway, because he's taking a well-deserved break. Sonics over Gluttony makes sense. Sonics usually bodies Gluttony, but we did see a Wolf win, so maybe we see Gluto Wolf in tournaments, because that could be sick. Any Wolf gameplay is welcome, because Jackal had a sick run this tournament, Ouch did really well in the LCQ, and they were all incredibly hype. Spargo over Riddles, I think they trade sets? I feel like they should, or they, not that they should, but I feel like they do. I think it goes back and forth. It's either goes back and forth, or Spargo always bodies Riddles. Offline only. Let's see, Riddles. It is 2-1 in Spargo's favor, so they do go fairly back and forth. Riddles did win it at Invitational, but then Spargo got the run back this time, so now he is 3-1 on Riddles. Riddles going off a first place into a 9th place is not honestly terrible, proves consistency as well, but one of his worst placements with solo Kazuya, essentially. I think he brought, I know he used Belmont versus Big D, but it didn't work, and then I think he brought out Terry against someone in Swiss pools. I don't remember who, or if that even happened, but it feels like it happened. But for the most part, he used Kazuya, and it was like people that are, again, really good at the matchup destroyed him. And it's very evident that these characters like Aquila and, or not Aquila and Riddles, but Kazuya and Steve, these characters can definitely bleed, and a lot of people showcased it very well this event, which is like super sick to say. The adaptation is coming along nicely. Kola Zamba, again, another nail-biter set. This one was like probably the closest set of the tournament. It was just insane all the way out. And then Big D running into Onin, probably the second worst player he could fight in this venue in the Ices matchup. Just like Big D drew bad, honestly. Drew really unfortunate because like he lost to Onin at Gommel. He lost to Shootone earlier in Swiss pools. Just, damn, unlucky. But he's still 9th place with solo climbers is unreal. Like, probably the best low main or low tier player in the world. Unless there's someone I'm obviously very obviously forgetting. But Big D is like he's consistently doing amazing. And he qualified through like LCQ, either a tough bracket. Sonics over, or Spark over Sonics makes a lot of sense. And again, Pyramithra over, or Aegis over Sonic. Maybe that's the future, or like the meta against Sonic. I don't really know, but both Leo and Spargo only use Aegis against Sonic, so maybe it's just a Sonics thing. It feels like it is a Sonic, or Sonic. It got it's Sonics. Why did he do that to us? But it feels like it is like more of a Sonic thing than a Sonics thing. But huge shout out to Leo and Spargo for knowing that. I guess I would have like stuck it on my chart too, especially against Sonics. That feels like someone that's like, you should use your bait against Sonics, but they knew that matchup, so they both got the win there. A 7th place for Sonics, super respectable. He played incredible this event, and proving that consistency once again. Kola over Onin, big jumps to Onin for honestly beating Kola, because Kola is like, he went from like being really bad against DLC to being the DLC Slayer, and now it's like the DLC people versus Kola is like this huge storyline. It's very fun to watch, and he got a win on Kazuya this event, but then lost to Steve, took the L, so it's going back and forth there. Pretty close set overall, and like Kola's really good against Steve, so that's impressive that Owen beat him. Moving on to, again, Karama beating Shootone in Olimar Mario. I'm surprised, honestly, there was no attempt at the Aegis, because Sword Mario feels like really tough, but I mean, Karama's proving all weekend that he doesn't really care about your matchups, so Karama getting another like in contention top 10 player onto his win list. Just, God, he's so good. Aquila, Leo, finally happened. So much tension leading up to this. Oh my God, it was not close. Leo destroyed him. Like it was bad. Game 1 was pretty close, actually, but then the rest, basically the other 5 games they played, Grands wasn't as bad as the first set. It was just like, Leo was so good at the matchup, and this is the only time that I've ever seen, like, Steve versus, like, a character where it's like, Steve is losing this matchup. Not Steve is losing because the other player is beating Steve. It's like, Steve doesn't have a million options, and he still has a ton of stuff. He still hit crazy stuff. Aquila was comboing Leo to like 70 every time, but Leo was consistently killing Aquila early. He was like just beating Minecart straight up. He was comboing him. Like, it was just, the disadvantage was like actually real. Leo played this so well. Like, he clearly did his homework, and huge ups to him for doing that. And if you'll notice, Leo has not dropped a game yet. And I don't think he dropped till last stock until his set with Sonics, which is kind of crazy to say. And then Aquila also took him the last stock once. And then we move on to Shootone Spargo. Again, Shootone is a very good player, but Spargo, I think, is pretty good at the Aegis matchup, or at least clearly he is. He beat it, but he should be good at the Aegis matchup because he has that, he has that Aegis experience. We just saw it. The Aegis is still pretty clean. He knows what he's doing. Managed to get that. Aquila, Onin. I know someone in the comments said they wanted to see Onin versus Aquila. Steve Ditto, you got it. It was destruction. Aquila is insane at that Ditto for some reason. Like, he is so good at it. But a respectable 5th place for Onin, proving that consistency once again. He hasn't missed the top 8 since, like, he became, like, crazy around, like, combo breaker time. So he's been doing insane lately, and I think we'll continue to see it in contention for best in NA right now. Moving on to the top 4 now. We have 2 Mexican players, 1 Japanese player, and 1 American player, and it's everyone you'd expect except Karama. And he is the only person that took a game off Leo this entire tournament. I don't know if hopefully the mic is picking up and be clapping, because that's ridiculous. Like, the fact that Leo only dropped 1 game this entire, like, mega super major, but 2, the fact that Karama was the one to take it. Karama played so well, and he could have beat Leo. Like, it's a little bit of copium. He definitely could have won game 3. Like, there was a couple, like, options at a shield that he probably could have up smashed, but it was, like, you know, scary in the situation. Up B's, like, way safer, and then, like, he barely misspaced a back air as well. I think that was game 3. And then game 4 was also, like, less close, but he could have just, like, Mario, it was, like, 20 to 100 or something like that. He definitely could have, like, hit an up air and just killed him, because he was doing that a ton all set. Karama he's the best Mario in the world for sure now. It was always, like, a contention kind of, but Dark Wizzy, I think, in most people's mind was solidified. And then Karama said, "Nuh-uh." But Karama is so, like, look at that. I usually don't look at the set. Look at that. He's so good, man. He just played so proficient. He had some of the cleanest movement I've ever seen in Ultimate, and it was with Mr. Mario himself. Chris Pratt would be so proud. Karama did amazing. And then Aquila Spargo, a tragedy of Game 5, but the rest of the set was, like, super close. Spargo was very good at the matchup, clearly. Again, it feels like a thing where it's like, yes, Steve actually does lose this matchup, and it's up to the Steve playing at a disadvantage to win. And shoot shoutouts for Aquila for, like, actually doing that, but it's like there is finally counterplay being developed, and the counterplay is incredibly strong. So Spargo did amazing against Aquila. Aquila did close it out, though, in that Game 5. Really good set. And then Aquila also did close it out over Karama, though Karama did take a game. The last 2 games were kind of a blow-up, but the first 2 were like, I could have seen Karama take it. But the last couple were like, ugh. And then Leo, Aquila, again, Leo bodying him. That matchup looks, or not even the matchup, that player matchup. Leo versus Steve is crazy. Leo is so good at Steve, or against Steve now. It is, like, unreal. That one weakness he has is now his, like, strongest area. It's unreal. That's the tournament. Absolutely stacked. Player of the tournament is 100% Karama. It was, like, for me, it was between Karama or Leo, but it was Karama for all. Like, he got wins. He played so well. He definitely could have taken it. And he's always been a player that's been, like, really well. Like, since, like, the start of Ultimate as well. Here, I'll put this set on for a little bit. Sorry for the ad. He has been, like, consistently doing well. Like, 13th at the first Genesis is really good. This is when he was still Prodigy. 49th at Evo is really good. Top 8ing Port Priority. Like, he's always been doing second at Crown. He's always, like, been a consistent player. And then at Frostbite, we saw him get his Leo win. So also shouts to Leo for finally evening up the score there, because I imagine he's been wanting to do that for a really long time. He beat Riddles there as well. And then getting 17th here. It feels like he was always, like, getting between that 25th to 13th range, occasionally a 9th or 7th, but never quite breaking out. And then we saw a pretty decent breakout run from him at Crown, getting a 5th place there, beating Shutone, Rydra. And then, again, Double Down doing really well, 13th there, beating Yanni, Ling, T3 Dom, like a bunch of really good wins. Icon as well. 7th at Riptide, another top 8 at a smaller major, but a major nonetheless. And then this tournament, he said, I'm just going to start doing, like, insane stuff now. And that is what he did. His combos were insane. His movement was insane. His neutral was crazy. He was living to, like, 1,000,000% every time for no reason. And I was just super impressed with him. He is definitely a player of the tournament. If I had to recommend sets to watch, God, watch a Karama set. He, like, stuff like that you could just see all the time. He played absolutely amazing. I would also watch a Zomba set, honestly. Zomba played really, at least in Swiss, Zomba played, like, insanely well. Cola played really well. He was very hyped to watch. Leo, if you want to see absolute dominance, because he is, like, 100% the best player in the world, by the way. I know there's a little bit of contention before. No, it's Leo. He definitely proved to everyone that he is the GOAT, and he will be for at least another couple of months. He's taking a break, a well-deserved one till Smash World Tour, and it's going to be hyped to see him there. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry the video was a little longer, but there was a lot of sick stuff to talk about. If I missed anything, I probably didn't talk about Swiss as much, didn't talk about LCQ. If you want to know about any of those players there, what happened to their runs, how they go, any upsets, please let me know down below. If I missed something, be sure to tell me. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Comments have been super supportive lately. Thank you guys for everything, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.